Welcome back to another episode of To Live and Die in LA. Oh, keep it running till the end. I want them to hear that. It's a perfect outro.
Nice.
Of, like 30 seconds. So far, every episode we've talked about how my brother wrote this song for the show.
Let's give him a shout out.
Yeah.
Let's keep it going.
Right here. Perfect.
Hell
Perfect
yeah.
to go into a show. Welcome
Nice.
to Live and Bike in LA. I'm Henry Seavey, your host. Today, our guest is a friend of mine and an avid biker, somebody who's involved in the bike world in a different way than anybody else so far. But please give it up for Alex Getlin, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. This is great. This is the first podcast I've done to talk about my enthusiasm for biking.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Never brought it up. It's kind of your side gig, too, and it's like, I guess if you're doing comedy and stuff, you wouldn't necessarily talk about, I do this shit for money or whatever.
Yeah, I guess I've mentioned it on other podcasts, but this is the first one where it's dedicated to this. So
yeah, so let's tell you, you do guided bike tours around
Correct.
LA.
Yep.
So you are like exactly what I'm talking about when you are, like me, on the streets of LA almost every day on a
100%,
bicycle.
yeah. And I still do Postmates biking here and there.
Oh, you do that too?
Yeah,
Nice.
once if I need extra money for something.
Yeah. I figure it's like getting paid $10 an hour to work out.
Pretty much,
is what it comes down to.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
pay
yeah.
is not great. Occasionally you'll get the next day somebody tipped real well. You go to check that account and you're like, oh, hey, look at that.
Or they
12
just
extra
don't
bucks.
pick up the food for some reason. You get free meals.
Oh, I've had that twice with Shake Shack too.
Oh,
And
nice.
Those are always
Yeah.
great. But then, part of you is like, this motherfucker better not be a vegetarian or some shit.
But about 90% of my LA biking is giving tours.
Yeah. So you do like, for the most part, it's two different tours, and one's like 6 miles, and one's like 20 miles or something.
Close. So there's three actually.
Okay.
One is 32 miles.
Okay.
Goes from West Hollywood through Beverly Hills, Bel Air, Westwood, Santa Monica, Venice, down to the Marina, and then Culver City back up to West Hollywood. That's like a 6-ish hour.
When you're doing the Culver City part, do you go on like the what is that, Exposition bike path at all?
Yeah, I think you're talking about the Bayona Creek bike path. So that runs through it basically starts at Marina Del Rey and ends in Culver City.
Oh, okay. No, there's that. Maybe that is the one. There's one that follows the train line too.
Okay, now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
We do a very small portion of that.
Okay.
So the Bayona Creek one intersects that.
Yeah.
And so we come at the end of Bayona Creek, get onto Exposition, and then take that. Do you know the Helms Bakery? You ever heard of this building?
Yeah.
So we do
I
that.
buy weed right by there sometimes. It's
Nice.
Great
All right,
shop.
yeah. And then there's two other ones. One that's through Hollywood. It's about 12 miles. And then one that's just Beverly Hills. It's about 12 miles.
So
Yeah.
before we get to the people you've brought,
Yeah.
just simply biking around LA, it should be easier, right?
Oh, my God. I will say it's easier than I think a lot of cities in America. But I get a lot of folks from the Netherlands, and they come here and they're like, why haven't you guys updated your...
You don't have any lanes. You don't have it especially through Hollywood. And I assume it's probably because of rich people in Beverly Hills and West Hollywood that don't want people on bikes to have easier access. But when Sunset, Hollywood Boulevard, Sunset Boulevard, Melrose are all flat and straight for about 5 miles from Silver Lake to West Hollywood, there's no reason there shouldn't be a bike path that's like not even a bike lane on the street, but just like its own bike path, like adjacent to Fountain or something.
The weird thing to me, our city, it's like the epicenter of people who are into healthy living, exercise, wellness, which is all kind of the same thing. But then also that combined with the fact that we have phenomenal weather 95% of the year.
Yeah.
Like, and our traffic is out of control.
Out of control. Smog's bad.
Like, why wouldn't, you know what it is? So I'll give you a quick anecdote just on why I think it hasn't gotten better. And the short answer is because people in the city cannot handle being inconvenienced in the slightest.
Yeah.
So West Hollywood, which if any listeners don't know, is an actual separate city inside of LA.
Yeah, they cut themselves out because they were like, we have more money and we keep our shit cleaner than the rest of Hollywood, so see you later. And it was a lot of gay boys being like, I think we can have our own city.
Yeah, what I've read, the official reason was to institute rent control policies in the 80s, so the local residents, but that's a side point. Anyway, my only anecdote here real quick. So the bike company I work for, we actually got together and went to speak at West Hollywood City Hall on behalf of improving the bike infrastructure.
Yeah.
And all these fucking rich old. Can I curse on here? Sorry.
Oh yeah.
All these
Say the N-word. I don't care.
Well, we're not gonna do that, but Netherlands. That's all right. Anyway, all these old rich people were like, "This is not a biking city. This is a driving city. You're not gonna take away parking meters." But it's like, what are you talking about, dude?
Yeah.
Like. This should be a biking city.
Should be a biking city.
Everything here, I know there's a few hills that would be tough to deal with, but everything else in the city is lined up perfectly to make it not only like should it be a biking city for all the reasons I mentioned, but also like LA, especially places like WeHo, love to be like, we're the example of how you're supposed to act.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you want to be like the first ones to lead the charge?
Yeah, and there's a lot of like, people who say, I think a lot of people secretly aren't liberal, but they like on the outside
100%, dude.
Say they are.
Dude, the rich people here, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
There's like a whisper campaign like, well, I know I can't talk about how I hate the homeless, but
Yeah, and I'm voting for Hillary, except I'm gonna make a lot of money if I vote for Trump. But the supposed liberalness too would be like it's all better for the environment too,
right?
And you should do
sure.
it. Yeah, everything from Hollywood to the water is for the most part flat. It's doable hills.
Oh yeah,
and I've gone one time from North Hollywood or Burbank to like from that old show at the dispensary that Tema did.
Oh yeah.
From there to the Improv.
Nice.
And it took about 45 minutes.
Maybe?
Yeah, took the Cahuenga Pass. That was the only part that was a little sketchy. The hill was totally doable up past like Universal and stuff.
Yeah.
But when you get over the crest of the hill and you start coming down towards the Hollywood Bowl, there's no sidewalk and almost no breakdown lane or anything.
And that's the kind of stuff that makes people nervous. So when we have the bike tours mapped out where 90% is on residential streets. But there's some parts where we're biking on like even Santa Monica Boulevard where there is a bike lane, still like half the time cars are like
parked in it, turning on it, just not even looking.
And so, when I have noticed this, when I'm in a group of the tours I lead, we wear these bright yellow safety vests. People tend to like get out of the way and let us go. But when I'm by myself, a lot of drivers, they're almost like angry at the fact that I'm biking near them.
Yeah. I had somebody today, and this is something that like just irks me to nothing, cuts you off and then waves like you let them go.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here,
I will
dude.
murder your family. I want to seduce and fuck your wife, and when you come in, I wave and go, hey, thanks for letting me fuck your wife. When somebody waves to you and you did not when they say thank you and you did not let them go, it fucking pisses me off so much. If I'm close enough, I spit on the car.
Really?
Yeah, I spit on a lot of cars.
Nice.
That's my little way of getting back. It does nothing really. Maybe they see it and they get mad, but it's not like you actually fucking hurt anything.
My favorite is when somebody, I've had this happen a lot, where like I'll bike and then a car, they're like riding my ass and then they like speed up ahead of me.
Yeah.
And then I get ahead of them because of the traffic, and I'm like, Yeah.
I love when people rev past you,
so stupid,
and you're like,
dude.
I know you can go faster.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
I'm not trying to race here. This is nothing. But the people that you're taking on these tours, that's what I'm wondering about, because I'm sure it goes, like you said, you get people from the Netherlands, they fucking know what they're doing on a bike, and
if I get a group from the Netherlands, other than sometimes the hills are a little much for them, but they'll always get through it pretty much with just like a little bit of like, perseverance, but just their awareness of how to ride a bike in a city.
Yeah.
It makes my job so much easier. You know what the worst is? So I've had a couple of these kind of groups where like it's a family and someone picked the bike tour for the family and maybe didn't even tell the family what they're doing exactly. And they show up and they're like, hey, we're going cycling in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So like there's one in particular I remember. It's like mom, dad, 3 kids. 2 of the kids were pretty cool, but this one, their daughter, she was probably like 12 or 14.
Hot, yeah. Go on.
That age where like everything sucks, and and keep in mind the tour is 6 hours roughly. It's a 32-mile bike ride.
Yeah.
And 20 minutes in, she's like, how much longer is this? And just the whole time complained, didn't want to do it. And I honestly wasn't really that mad at her. I mean, it was annoying, but I was more mad at her dad for being like, no, it's going to be like, your daughter is a piece of shit. And I have to deal with it.
Yeah.
It's like the leader of this thing. So,
and also like, you're like, hey, we got ground to, I'm sure she was fucking barely pedaling along. Like, I don't want to go.
I think, it wasn't great. But they ended up being okay in the end. Actually, the more really awkward part is when somebody is So we have two options for bikes: regular hybrids, like just your standard 24-speed pedal bike, and then we have electric bikes, which it gives you an assistance on the pedaling, right?
Which, full disclosure, I did some mechanic work at Alex's work for a few weeks, and so I've ridden both of these bikes, and those electric bikes are a great beginner one, but they have them now. Like, the pedal assist isn't bad, but it's still very much biking.
Oh, yeah.
Where now they have you can pedal it, but it's just basically an electric moped.
Right. Yeah. So the ones we use, but for anybody who like needs that extra like physical assistance, it's a great option. We always recommend it for anybody who's a little unsure. But of course, we get a lot of people.
Fatties, yeah.
You know what's funny though? I've had some fat people that like crush it on the regular bikes, and people who look thin, and they're like,
Here's the thing about fatties is they have strong ass legs. They've been carrying around all that weight. Put them on a bike, they don't have to, they don't have to walk the fucking 200 pounds that's above them. But
yeah, I had this one dude.
Legs.
I mean, he was like really fat, but he's like, oh no, I bike all the time. I just love to eat, But I had one. So like within the first 10 minutes, there's a couple hills, and that's like our way to like say like, hey, either you gotta get up this hill without help, or you can't do the tour.
Yeah.
And then I had this one couple.
And those are is that like going up to say Sunset or something?
It's basically in between Santa Monica and Sunset, right? So
and that's probably as steep as you're gonna get for the most part, right?
There's a few later that are
like
steeper,
Westwood or something.
Yeah, but it's enough where I can like gauge it, right?
Yeah.
So then I had this one. It was a couple, and like he flew up the hill fine. This girl, she halfway there, she had to hop off and walk her bike, and then even halfway from walking, she had to pull over, and she was like bent over, like heaving. She didn't throw up, but she was, one of those where.
Yeah.
And then I was like trying to. So that's the last window where we could swap an e-bike out. It's like, hey, and he like wouldn't let her do it, and he was like mad at her for like not being able to do the bike tour. And for me, like I'm just facilitating the thing. So it was like it's a really awkward position to be in. Yeah. Because I have to be like smiley tour guide. I'm not gonna intervene in like your relationship argument. You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Like, but at the same time, you want to take the guy aside and be like, hey man, you want to fucking get laid later? Like, just let her ride whatever she wants. Like, what are you fucking doing?
I've kicked people off. So that one happened to be they were by themselves. But if it's a public group, and then I'm just like,
and there's only two. Yeah, you got to keep up with the group.
Yeah, I've kicked people off the tour before.
Nice.
But most of the time, they get it, and they're honestly, when that happens, they're so embarrassed that they can't hack it that they're like, I understand. It's fine.
Yeah. We had somebody when I was coaching skiing. We were on this trail called White Heat in Sunday River, and it's like the super steep trail, but it's where we had the mogul course. And this guy came up to us, and his wife or girlfriend, whatever, was on her ass, holding her skis, sliding down like with her boots little by little. Mm-hmm. And he skis down to us, and she's up above, and he goes, so, we kind of ended up on this by accident. I thought she could do the trail, but she can't. Do you guys have any advice? Is there something easier we can do other than just slide all the way down? And we're like, dude, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to the bottom of the mountain and take your shit off and leave because she's through with you.
Right, yeah,
and
dude.
So you might as well just leave now.
Oh, my God. The unawareness of people, I don't know. I will say, what's funny though? I'm remembering the story now that we're talking about my bike tours. When I was pretty new there, I actually had my first getting catcalled experience on my bike.
Nice.
Yeah, so I was in Venice.
Guy or girl?
I'm pretty sure female, but it was not 100% sure.
Okay.
But we're in Venice, and so we take stops throughout the bike tour, and so there's points where like I'll stop, we'll take the helmets off, we'll hang out for a second. So we're kind of near the skate park area where there's just basically we pull over. I'm talking about the skate park, and there's different little encampments of drifters, homeless, whatever you want to call them, right? And then
vagabonds.
Sure,
ne'er-do-wells.
Then I hear somebody being like, "Hey, bike man, hey, bike man," and I look over and I see like I think what is a lady and a pit bull and like half of a Goodwill store just strewn out on the sidewalk, and I just kind of give like a polite like, and she's like, hey, and she's like, hey, bike man, why don't you give me that big bald head and let me rub some titty sweat on it?
Nice.
And it was just very.
She's a black woman.
Yes,
okay.
Probably could have been super tan. I don't know.
Yeah, there are some at the beach. You never know. There's a lady who comes into my store in Silver Lake, and I think there's been like a Vice article about her, about how she's addicted to tanning. But she is the color of a black person, and then you start talking to her, and you're looking at her, and you're like, "You're not a black person."
This lady had
so off-putting.
She might have been
not that black people are off, but white people. White people looking black is so off-putting.
Yeah, like Rachel Dolezal. Remember her?
Yeah,
I know what you're saying, but either way, yeah, she was. It was actually pretty hilarious that when it happened, because the group just like burst out laughing, like, "What is going on?" And I was like, "It's Venice, guys."
Yeah.
But it was just, it just felt like what a specifically weird thing to say. Let me rub your bald head with my titties or titty sweat or something like that.
It's a good one. At least she like, who knows? She might yell that at every bald guy.
Probably.
I think that would kind of hurt to find that out. I mean, it wasn't.
Oh yeah, I felt
you.
Kind of special.
Yeah, I don't know if I think probably gay guys have catcalled me. I don't know if any women ever have, but I had a few. You know, the thing is, sometimes friends will yell at me when they drive by, and I'm like, please don't do that. It's terrifying.
When you're on your bike?
Yeah. And you just hear,
PSA, if you see anyone, friend, straight, don't yell at us on a bicycle.
Yeah.
All right? There's a lot going on.
We don't know it's you.
Yeah,
if anything, after you pass by and you want to lean out the window and wave and I see it's you, that's fine. But when you yell as you're going by, I am terrified for a split second.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I'm kind of bummed out thinking that lady probably did catcall a lot of bald guys. I felt special.
Yeah, if we have any listeners in Venice and know this specific person, if you could tell us, hit me up on Instagram or something and tell us if this is a specific person who's always yelling at bald people, we'd love to know that.
Yeah, this was if you're a frequent if you go ever to the skate park in Venice and you see this lady I'm talking about, you'll know her. Like you'll just know when you see her. I don't think I've ever been catcalled by gay guys, but I do get hit on a lot by gay guys.
Yeah.
When I was at Deadmau5 a few months ago, I went to see him live. It was really fun. Actually, this experience I had, I kind of feel bad for like hot girls. The more I think about this, because like I went to the concert.
You don't think they got a fair shake?
Listen, just let me finish this anecdote, and then I see both sides of it.
Yeah.
Of course they do, but right. So anyway, I go to Deadmau5 with my buddy. We're having a good time, and then like a bunch of different dudes kept like coming up and trying to flirt with me and hit on me, and it was flattering. And I'm like, no, I'm fine, thank you. But
Deadmau5 is specifically like gayer show, I guess.
I guess it was when I went.
Just because it's like a electronic dance party type thing.
I don't know if it was that or just the people that came up to me or whatever. And it was like at first it was like very flattering, like oh thanks, and then after like the fourth or fifth person, I was like, dude, stop. I just want to watch the show. Like, leave. I'm very flattered. Thank you. No, thank you. Get the fuck out of here. Like, I paid a lot of money to be here and just enjoy the concert. And then I thought about it. I was like, yeah, that would get pretty annoying if it happened like every time I paid money to go out to something.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's why. But also, you know, the flip side of it is you go to a gay bar and go, I'm drinking free tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'd have to fuck somebody at the end, but it's probably worth it.
No, you don't. I know plenty of women who go out for the night and just be like, I just go out and don't pay for drinks.
I like it. Listen, by the way, if you're gay or you're straight, if you're anyone, please feel free to hit on me anytime. Like I need all the compliments constantly. So just, you know.
No, here's where it's tougher for women is one, they're in a physically a lot of times in a lesser position, so it can be scary in that way. But that's where people, you know, you end up getting these attitudes of like, I'm just going to fucking be a bitch to everybody because I don't want to put up with that shit. I just have to give off a vibe of just don't fucking come talk to me.
And that's the main thing I took away. Like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
Right. Because then I get it. It's like, you'd rather just like nip it in the bud.
Yeah.
Rather than be like, yeah, I guess we can be friendly. Like, dude, you're not making friends drunk out in public. Like, yeah. And
also, let's make a friend at a concert. I mean, similar. I've had people like homeless people and stuff yell at the streets, and I have a very good now, and it's been pretty good because I was still biking in Boston and stuff. It's been really good, but no matter what's yelled or a horn's honking or anything, very good of not flinching and just staying for it, because most of the time when people are yelling at you, or it's like homeless person, somebody's yelling at you from the street. The key is just pretend like you didn't even hear them.
Smart. And
just keep rolling along. And I feel bad sometimes when I'm walking, and you just have to, like, I don't know. It's a weird thing of like I can't I can't engage with everybody. I don't have any fucking money, so I'm not going to give you any money.
Speaking of homeless outbursts, I don't know if you saw this last week. This is 100% true. You can Google this. It was an article in the local news. A lady, she was getting into her car on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah.
And then while she's getting into her car, some homeless man runs out to her, drags her away from her car, and dumps a bucket of human shit on her. I swear to God. You can look it up. And the police said that it looked like he had been storing the shit. Like it was multiple poops or and apparently this guy had already been arrested like 4 times for like aggravated, like not like assault where it was like bad enough where he, but whatever it was, like harassing people.
Dude, that should be worse than like, that should be chemical warfare.
Right
there.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you could be giving somebody fucking syphilis or something. I don't know if you can get syphilis that way, but.
I don't know. You could, whatever you can get. I mean, E. coli, I don't know.
Yeah, E. coli, probably whatever.
But just the fact that like this was like the 4th time. So I guess the 3 prior, the guy just like went in and like yelled at somebody, maybe pushed him, and then now it's escalated to like poop attacks.
Jesus Christ!
I can't think of anything worse. I mean, honestly, even the only thing worse than a bucket of shit is maybe a bucket of cum. And even that, I don't know.
Oh, great question. Which is worse, bucket of shit or bucket of cum? Okay, a few factors. One, is it all from one source?
Let's say no. Because it would be hard for one source to fill a bucket of cum. You'd have to get a lot of...
I could do it.
But it would dry up before... No? How do you keep it from...
Well, cum a lot like tomato soup. It just gets the film over the top, and then you just got to peel that up. I don't know, but I guess if it's one source, God, I don't know, cum, I guess. But if it's multiple people... I don't know. I don't want either, but I probably got to go with cum just because
cum is worse.
No, I would
cum
take
you'd rather have the bucket of cum.
Yeah, I'd rather take the bucket of cum than shit.
The shit is for sure smellier. But I think just the thought knowing that like the cum came from like...
In my mind, it all came from a good place. Like everybody was happy.
Yeah.
Those shits could have been angry shits. You don't know.
That's true.
Yeah, it's just bad energy coming at you there. Where a bucket of cum is all just happy joy.
I mean, the thing, at least pee would be sterile. Blood's pretty bad too, because the blood, you don't know what kind of diseases are in it. Like the pee, I think is the safest, right? You can't get a disease from pee.
I don't think so. No, it's sterile. But here's the thing, though. So the year we were on the bus, we had a composting toilet.
Okay.
And in that situation, because it separates the piss and the shit, and the shit goes with coconut pulp that's how it breaks down and turns it into compost.
Yeah.
The shit does not smell, especially with the coconut pulp.
Interesting.
Piss fucking smells so bad, and it's like ammonia. And if you too much of it, you are gonna like poison yourself.
Interesting.
Yeah, like it might be sterile, but the amount of ammonia in it is overwhelming when you have a giant bucket of pee.
Well, I guess,
I saw somebody actively shitting as I rode by the other day. Just like squatting there, just taking a shit.
I do worry about like what's happening to our city in that regard. I live in Hollywood, like basically near Melrose and Vine, and that's like ground zero other than Skid Row.
Yeah.
For like the road I go up normally to get to my gym. I mean, it's like tent city. And you know what's the crazier part, because I go up and down it so often, it's like a rotating cast of different people in tents. It's not like they're there and they stay there. It's like even the transients are transient in their own little area.
Yeah, you have to pick up and set down, and I mean depends on where like in Skid Row, because I drive or ride through there occasionally, and the funny thing is there's like these hipper like loft, and there's this big thing called like lot. Downtown LA lot or something. Okay. That's this big like multiple story building that's all new shops and stuff.
Oh, right.
But it's on it's out by like Alameda, and it's past on the other side of Skid Row from downtown.
Sure.
And so when I'm doing like Postmates, people order from like the noodle place downtown, and you'll have to ride through Skid Row to get to the, and it's like the gentrification is coming, like they're trying to clean up downtown, and then they put troops on the other side of the fucking battlefield, and they're trying to like close in on them.
Troops on the other side.
But those are much more permanent. Like they're crazy. I think that is straight up mental health.
Yeah,
and I think
absolutely
in Hollywood, it's more drugs and mental health and just transient people, and then as you get down to like
Venice
and stuff, it's fucking beach bums, and it's people who
way more. Yeah,
it's all, a lot of it is mental health, but it's different. Where like if you're in Skid Row, it's the end of the road. Its next stop is death. Really, if you don't get help or anything.
Dude, man, not to be so morbid, but I saw the coroner near where I live pick a body up out of, I mean, I didn't see it, but I saw like a van with lights on, and on the side it said coroner.
Yeah.
And they had one of those giant like white hazard tents set up.
Ooh, yeah.
Which I'm assuming was,
Was this on the bike or just walking?
I was just driving past it, and I just saw it.
Yeah.
But I will say, other than tents and dogs, I feel like bicycles are the most frequently owned or possessed item by the street people.
Oh yeah, there's a dude up on, I want to say it's Hollywood Boulevard, just like right where the beginning of Hollywood is.
Yeah.
And Silver Lake, that has like a fucking business of rebuilding bikes out there. He's always got like different. It looks like none of them ever work.
Right. Yeah.
But he's like constantly working. He's like, I got 9 projects going, and he's fucking strapping shit together and stuff.
How many of those bikes do you think are stolen?
Oh, all of them.
100%, right?
I'm still in LA. It's weird. You can just find bikes. People just abandon bikes.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
There's so many bikes here that you can just come across bikes. And then there's this cool place called the Bicycle Kitchen, which is over right on, I want to say, Virgil and Fountain.
Okay.
And they just take in bikes that abandoned. They strip them down, put all their parts in different areas.
Sure.
And it's basically free to work on. You can donate money if you have it, but they have all the tools and everything, so you can work on your own bike there.
Oh, nice.
Or you can go in and make a project bike, and from all the scraps there, build your own bike from it. And it's like, if you can give $7, they'll let you do that.
Do you think if, how like a lot of late night spots, you have to drive your car, like they won't open the restaurant, but they'll let you drive through the drive-through?
Yeah.
Think you can bicycle through the drive-through? Probably not, right?
I don't know. I've heard somebody had to get on they tried walking through, and they said it's for motorized vehicles, and so they got on a Lime scooter and went through on the Lime, and they're like, that cuts it.
Yeah, I remember in high school once, me and some buddies tried to go to Taco Bell. We tried to walk at the Taco Bell drive-through, and they wouldn't. They're like, it's for safety. We can't open the window unless you're in a car. And I didn't understand like how that makes any sense.
We used to do this. We would order, and a friend of mine had a minivan, and right before we'd order, or like right after we order, somebody would slide out the back door, and then they'd pull up, and when they went to hand the food, the person would go sprinting by and grab the food from them and take off running, and they would be like, some homeless person just stole our food, and they're like, we're so sorry, we'll make you another thing.
Nice.
And then we had to just go pick up that person down the street and get double the stuff. But then one time this guy went to grab it, and he caught the woman's arm too and slammed her arm off the window.
Oh,
and she just goes, screams at him, you stop, and he fucking stops.
Oh my god.
He just walked up to him, grabbed the stuff away, walked back and gave it to us.
I will tell you this, I have a friend who works in, I can't say which mall, but he at least was, I don't know if he is anymore, head of security for a huge mall here.
Yeah.
You can steal just about anything and no one will do anything to stop you.
Oh yeah.
I
have a hard shoplifting policy.
What is that?
Shoplift.
If it's less than $1,000 worth of an item, the police, if they even get there, before you're just run away,
they can't. Well, nobody can touch you.
No.
No, but the key to shoplifting is you have to shop.
Oh,
so you buy something and then you take something for you.
So you sneak it in your pocket while you're shopping.
Yeah. So,
smart.
a little one. Because I think that's the other thing too, is security or whatever. The second you wait in line to pay, whatever suspicion is thrown up. They have no more suspicion about you.
I never knew that. Well, what's interesting too is they can't actually charge you with shoplifting unless you leave the store. Like even if they see you put an item in your pocket, they can't actually
until you walk out. Yeah, and you'd notice, like if you're waiting in line, you see a couple other security, you go, you know what? I guess I'm going to pay this time.
Right. And then you just right, forgot about this.
Yeah. But Vaughn's, John's, Gelson's, all of those places.
Gelson's.
Yeah, anybody with ons in their name, I'll you grocery shop and then you go. Pack of cheese.
What the OG like grocery shoplifting thing is you take the sticker off the chicken and put it on the steak. At the what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
And then like if it's like a teenager or somebody who's like not paying attention, they'll just scan it. And It's like, wow, T-bone ribeye for $4.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
I do 2 slices of pizza in the box at Whole Foods.
Smart.
Tell them it's 1.
Or you fill up the salad tray, and then when you got to do this at self-checkout, but when you put it on the scale, you just hold half of it.
Oh, yeah.
So it only weighs, this is like real white trash ways to steal.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, but these are the weird things that, like, especially the bike life in LA, but like LA is a city that I've been here a year and a half now, and you hear a lot of people say like New York, like once you make it a year, you'll like figure it out and stuff. But it is because it's a city that will take advantage of you.
Oh yeah,
in an instant. And so if you don't learn all the little ways to take advantage of the city, like you're
100%.
gonna fucking melt down in it. And so stealing, yeah, that's a bit far, but learning like all the free parking spaces you can use,
Totally.
you know, like doing little stuff to like get away with things where otherwise you're just gonna like, it's every day something new from the cities coming at you that you have to fucking deal with.
I just wish, honestly, if anyone listening to this has any authority to influence our local government, there's a few areas.
I'll clear it up. They don't.
Yeah, it's
but go on.
But one day when you're, you know,
my friend ran for mayor in Portland.
Did
Portland,
he win?
Maine. He did not. No.
Would you ever run for office?
No.
You don't seem like a political guy.
I don't
sense.
want to deal with that. I've worked for a couple in college. I worked for a couple different, a congressman and a senator, and it's none of it's real. It's all fake.
I'll pedal back a second. When I didn't mean that's silly. Yeah. There's a few areas in the city that have this, like downtown and Mar Vista, where it's a completely separate
bike lane.
Why don't we do that everywhere?
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like it's so obvious to me. That's what it is in Europe, and they love it. And the Europeans come here and they're just confused, like, why don't you have this?
Seattle has a lot of those. Portland has a lot of those.
Yeah.
Portland has a lot of also just straight up bike paths that are completely separated from roads or whatever. There's like two main ones that go crisscross through the entire city that like go along the river and stuff and are great to ride. You can go from one side of the city all the way to the other without ever going across a road or on a road or anything.
And the thing with those two, man, is like we have so many of those goddamn scooters and all that shit. Like they can all go in those lanes. I don't understand why.
Yeah, no, what you do instead of, it's the same amount of space, but instead of it going road, bike lane, parking, it should go road, parking, bike lane.
Yeah.
You put it on the other side of the car so that way they're protected from cars on the street, and you're a lot more protected from getting doored, because even if people open the door on the passenger side into that bike lane, you're not swerving into traffic to avoid it.
Dude,
you're swerving onto the sidewalk to avoid it.
You know, it'd also be good, and I know this is like not really going to happen, but it would be amazing because there's so many hills here. You know, like the store, there's the thing the conveyor belt for your shopping cart.
Yeah.
If there was a way for like some of those gnarly hills, you could like that for your tires, right? You just like scoot, like park it in,
hook in, and just get pulled up,
and then it pulls you up whatever hill you got to get from like basically anything between Santa Monica and Hollywood Boulevard. Just have a few of those, like every 3 miles, and then you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, even where it's not. It's from Crescent Heights west. It gets too steep.
Exactly.
Everything before that is doable.
Fine.
Fairfax is doable. Fairfax is one of the better streets as far as bike lanes.
They've got decent bike
lanes.
Still,
it's fucking bike lane. It's in the wrong area. Have you ever been doored or come close?
I've been fucking close, man. I have been doored, but never to the point where I flew into the door without any kind of stopping. But I've had the door fly open, and I've had to skid on the brakes.
Yeah.
And then I've hit the door, but at least at a slightly lower. Have you been fully undoored?
No, I haven't. We're having a guy on soon, Seth Plummer. He just got fully doored the other day. But I haven't. I've come close, and I kicked somebody's door because I hate when people do. This is another thing, like the wave high for thank you. When you didn't let them go. But you have people walk. They're walking to their parallel parked cars, and they walk up, look, see you, and then just like staring at you, open their door in front of you.
Dude, it's
so somebody did that, and I swerved out around them as they were stepping down, and I just like donkey kicked their fucking door.
Good.
I think I slammed their leg in the door because it didn't slam shut. It like bounced off of whatever they had in between the door.
Did they do anything?
I was gone. It was in the past.
Oh, nice.
I didn't stick around to find out. That's the thing with those. And you can it's fun to do like the spitting on cars and shit in traffic. Because like especially if there's heavy traffic, you're like, you're never gonna catch up to me, dude.
Yeah,
I'm
no
gone.
way. Yeah.
Like you're stuck in a car.
I had a tour once where a guy hit a parked car.
Yeah,
he's such an idiot. I was giving a tour and he's like trying to FaceTime with his wife or some shit while he's on the bike, and he just hit the back of a van, like just flew right into it.
God, I wish I had that video of the FaceTime.
Dude.
Would be so good.
Because I could, he was like, I'm okay. But I think he was talking to her more than like the tour. And I could kind of hear her like, what are you doing, man? And then,
And you tell people that too when you go,
Of
like,
course.
don't fucking take your phones out.
I always give that example. Like I had someone hit a parked car.
Yeah.
I you know what else I've had too is that somebody flipped over the handlebars going downhill. Because in England, I guess.
Was this the guy who claimed that the bike malfunctioned?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember because I had
Yeah.
to check that bike out, and we're like, it was nothing about the bike. You probably slammed on the front brakes or some shit.
So I guess in the States, left side is front tire, right side is back tire for the brakes.
Yeah.
In England, it's the opposite. And this guy was English, and I just tell everybody just squeeze both brakes at once.
Yeah,
just do it. It's just
yeah.
you know. And we were going. There's like this pretty steep hill in Beverly Hills, and he just literally did a full flip over the handlebars, and the bike fell on top of him.
Yeah, which naturally that will happen.
Yeah, and
and then he came back and he was like, the tire locked up, and we're like, what do you mean? Like nothing went in it. None of the spokes are broken or anything. It's not like a stick flew in it. And,
right.
And tires don't just. He's like, there's something wrong with it. And then like wanted to get his medical expenses taken care of or some shit.
Yeah,
and
fuck this. You signed a waiver, bro.
Yeah. This was a funny fall. I've only fallen a couple times, and it's usually just dumb stuff.
Sure.
On little things, or I'm a little drunk. There's one where it was funny because I just slid into the like parking lobby of the Standard.
Yeah.
I was coming down Sunset, left the Comedy Store, I was coming down Sunset, and went to, because it gets tight there, so I usually, if it's late at night, I ride on the sidewalk.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So I go up on the sidewalk, but the lip of the into the Standard there was higher, and my tire it like turned and rubbed against it. And so it was a very easy fall because it just went to the side, and I just slid. So but they have like that it's like that what kind of tile type like ground there. It's all smooth and shit. And so I just fell and slid like right into, and there's people like waiting for their taxis and shit, and I'm like, I'm okay, I'm all right.
It's so funny.
And then so the other day I was riding up Orange to Hollywood Boulevard to go catch a train, and this was at like 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And again, I hate if it's packed during the day, do not ride on the sidewalk.
Right, I agree.
Late at night, in LA, there's nobody on the sidewalks. Sure. If they're not going to have safe bike lanes, I fucking ride on the sidewalk.
100%.
And I'm riding up the sidewalk, drinking a beer, and I look up, and because there's some movie premiere happening or something, Hollywood Boulevard from Orange right there was all blocked off, and there's about 6 cops all around it.
Sure.
And I got this open beer in my hand. I'm like, oh, shit. All right. I'm going to kind of try and so I like turn it and like put it in my coat a little bit, and I'm holding it like this, riding one hand,
right,
and I go off the sidewalk to cross the street, and it's just a little too far down. I needed 2 hands on it. Tire turns, I fall like that, flip over, fall onto my back, and as I'm holding the beer, I'm holding it from the bottom, and I flip over and just dump the whole beer on top of me right in front of the cops.
What did they do? Did they come over?
I was laughing, and I was like...
he didn't care.
No, he was like, dude, he's like, I'm not going to... You got your fucking punishment for that one right there.
I have a friend in New Jersey who got, I guess it's a BUI.
Biking.
Mm-hmm. She crashed, and they took her BAC, and she was over. But that's New Jersey.
Yeah. I've heard it occasionally, but I think for the most part, it's like... Unless you're causing a hazard to traffic and sitting there drinking a beer,
not worth the cops' time.
It is not worth their time.
What do you think is the most dangerous drug to be on while biking? I would think acid, probably, or DMT.
I don't know. Possibly DMT. Yeah, I don't think you could get on a bike on DMT.
What if you're on the bike already and then you vape DMT mid-ride?
I think you will just stop. Like, you'll just like, I don't want to do that. Honestly, I think blackout drunk would be the worst.
Sure.
Because I've skied on mushrooms before, and surprisingly, you are very in tune with your balance and with like your body, and being like, you'll probably ride along at a mile an hour, if that, like just barely moving. Yeah. But I don't think you'd fall. You'd be like in touch with it, and
I would microdose mushrooms and ride my bike. I feel like I would feel like, I'm like moving with the Earth's rotation or something.
Yeah, it's weird. It's definitely weird. But you do have surprisingly good balance and are in touch with it. I also like when I take long bike rides. I'll take a bunch of edibles and zone out. Like I've gone Silver Lake to Santa Monica before, and it's fun. Like I like it too because you can literally just take Santa Monica the entire way.
Yeah, that is nice.
It's pretty
about that
flat,
road.
and
Yeah.
it goes all the way there, and it's almost the most direct way. Like, yeah, it takes longer. I think it's 12 miles.
I think so.
From where I am, but like if you're gonna drive there,
Mm-hmm.
one you'd probably do it faster on a bike. If you're just saying Santa Monica the entire way, I could probably beat you on a bike depending on the time of day. But if you're driving a car and just trying to go the quickest way to Santa Monica, you have to go, the 101 or 110 to downtown and then switch over and then get onto the 10. Like, you're going way out of the way, not even towards Santa Monica to get to Santa Monica.
That's the other thing too, man. Is like for me, if I have the chance to bike, unless I have to like run somewhere after and I need to, like, I'm on a quick timeline, I always bike over car. It's just like I know for a fact my attitude is better. I feel better. It's less to worry. I mean, technically you're worrying about like the day-to-day cars and shit, but like I know this is the best part. Especially out here, when I get to a place, I'm done.
You're just there.
I just
right
find
there.
somewhere to lock the bike up. You find any street pole or whatever, and you're good.
Yeah.
Whereas like the stress. I mean, think about. I know you don't drive here too often, but you can imagine
parking.
Like, yeah, dude. I was at the Improv one time for the mic.
It sucks there. It's either the meter on the streets, which that time of day is crazy packed.
Oh yeah.
And then all the offside stuff. It's like you got to be out of there before the mic even gets over because it goes to like residential or whatever. Yeah, it's fucking. That is definitely a big plus. Is the parking situation, but even in like cities. So from traveling around, I've biked in a lot of different cities, and there are some that it's just like Miami is a place that the traffic's not bad. It's a big city, but it's completely flat. I've ridden 14 miles across Miami.
Do they have a lot of bike lanes and stuff, or it's just
not
really?
a lot? It's not great, but it wasn't traffic like it is here. So you didn't even when you're on streets without bike lanes, you didn't feel like it. But then they also have the beach walk, which goes pretty much the entire length of the city. You're in between the beach and the city as you're going.
There is something about beach areas that's biking is so much more like of a common thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, especially if you live in Venice or Santa Monica, within a mile of the beach, you're walking or riding a bike.
I mean,
the beach cruiser.
The beach cruiser literally is a type of bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel
it's a type of bike for somebody who wants to do nothing in life.
Yeah.
With their life, in life. Those bikes are like, I guess you're working out.
I wonder, I guess it makes sense because if you live in a beachy area, the weather's great a lot. It's probably mostly flat.
Yeah, and it's just the same thing. Yeah. Parking at the beach is a fucking pain in the ass, but if you can just ride down to it, you're fine.
I think also out here, biking is like you bike for a lot of different reasons, health, wellness, whatever. But I think a lot of
poverty for me, but yeah.
Well, right, but so like that is a big common thing here, but you don't know. Whereas I feel like if you're biking in Miami, you're probably poor. Like you probably don't bike in Miami unless
you're very rich, or you're like
you're
out
so
in the full suit. Which that's another thing I fucking love are the people who have like the Lance Armstrong outfit for their fucking weekend ride. I'm like, who are you racing, buddy? And also, if you're doing it for fitness, isn't it harder in jeans? Isn't it like biking with like a parachute on your back or something? When you're doing it with they're like, I gotta get a good time. You're like, for what? For who?
Right.
Oh, I don't get why you're doing this.
Yeah, I see those groups of guys in like the full things, and there's like going up the PCH and like packs of like 30.
Oh God, yeah.
That seems that does not seem fun to me at all. If I'm doing a bike ride, I want to be with like one or two buddies or myself. That's it. Or if I'm giving a tour, fine. But like one of those massive meetup groups where it's like, I guess. I do imagine maybe like that is their social life. Like that's it.
Yeah.
So maybe at that, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem enjoyable.
Yeah. Well, I never thought of biking as like a group activity. It's such a solo thing now.
I mean, you can't have a conversation while you're doing it.
Yeah.
You have to literally that's also annoying when I'm giving tours and people try to like, because they're behind me, so they're talking and I can hear them. And then I try to be like, if I talk and I'm in front of you, you won't hear anything.
Yeah.
So then I have to kind of like try and like lean my head back. Yeah, I'll talk to you in a second, and like not get hit by a car.
Do you go headphones when you're biking? Do you listen to anything?
Rarely, because most of my biking is during
the tours.
Right, but even when I'm by myself, I have a Bluetooth speaker that I put into.
You're one of those people who likes to invade other people's space.
I will say, if I'm stopped, I turn it down if there's people around me.
That's good.
But I stick it. I have two like water bottle cages on the bike, and I'll stick the
speaker in there.
Yeah. Because I just found that I like I get too nervous with earbuds in.
See, for me, it does a thing where it makes me more hypervigilant about my sight and to be looking around. If I'm not relying on hearing something, I'm constantly checking behind me and stuff. And I think and it's also like, I don't know, I'm listening to podcasts mostly when I'm riding.
Yeah, podcasts you could hear more ambient sound.
Yeah, you can hear stuff coming up. But my wife is always like, it's dangerous. I'm like, dude, deaf people ride bikes.
That's a good point.
They drive too. Like everybody's like, you must, need to hear. It's like you don't need to hear. And also like in your car, a lot of times, like if you're in there with the music blasting, you can't hear anything outside the car anyway.
For me, the sound, I'm less for the alertness of cars. It's more the crazy people that are in the street.
Oh yeah.
Though, like there's certain pockets I bike through every day because it's right where I am in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And they don't come at me, but I'm extra on guard. And dude, the other day I biked through, I don't know what was going on, but one guy was, I'm assuming homeless, was swinging a broom at this other guy, being like, back up, motherfucker, back the fuck up. And the other guy was like, hey, and they were just like, and I just, I didn't want to stay to see what happened, but it's more of that kind of shit.
Yeah, totally. You want to be watching out for. But I do find this, even if you're not listening to anything, having the headphones in gives you the excuse that you didn't hear shit.
That is true.
And I will do that. Like when I'm on the train, because that's another thing that you can do with bikes here in a lot of places is, bike to where the train is, take the train to cover 10 miles, and then bike once you get out. But I will keep the headphones in but play nothing, just so people think I'm listening to something, but I have my fucking head on a swivel.
100%. When any public transit, especially flying, partly for when I'm on the plane and trap, but also when I'm in line.
Yeah.
Because I don't want someone to be complaining. You know when someone's like complaining and they look around like, you're part of this with me. Like, hey, no, fuck off. You were on this island alone. I don't care who you're mad at. I'm not doing I'm not going to talk to you about whatever gate agent you are mad at because I'm not getting dragged into that bullshit and getting kicked off for a bad attitude.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Or if they think you can't hear them and they're saying something about you.
Oh, that's the best.
And then you just do more of what they don't like.
Then it's fun. Yeah. I just don't like talking to strangers unless I have to.
No. I'm not a big conversation starter, and I do a bit about this, but like for the most part, people aren't conversation starters with me except for black people. Black people talk to me
I wonder,
all the time.
What do you think it is that...
Well, like I say in the bit, somebody said to me once, a black woman said, you look like you've been hurt. That's why I talk to you. And I was like, maybe that's a thing I give off. I don't know what it is. I think also I look out of sorts in a lot of places.
I can see that.
And even though I feel comfortable or whatever, I think like I've been waiting for the bus back to Boston on where you just have to wait outside on like 11th in New York. And the only two people that just started talking to me were two black guys waiting in line too. And there's a whole line of other people and nobody said or... I think black people also a lot, in a black community are a lot more talkative people and strike up conversation out of the blue. But for some reason, they just feel, I don't know, safe or whatever.
Kinship.
Like, just like, hey, this guy's cool. We can talk to him.
You've been through struggle.
I have, definitely.
They can just tell.
Well, and I think I'm just a different person. I don't know. Maybe they're just like... Well, the other part of it I say is that I think black people love to talk to me, but I think in reality, black people are like, he's never met a black person before.
I was going to say,
let's go say hi.
What % of Maine is black, you think? 5? There's a lot of Somalians there. So let's say those out of the equation because that's relatively new.
Those out of the equation, 0.05.
Really? Like that few?
Oh, yeah. Like, wow. We had two fully black people in my high school of 1,200 people.
Damn.
And then 2 half black people. And that was for 8 towns.
And it's just everybody's white, maybe a handful of Asians and Latinos and not even.
Barely any Asians, no Latinos, white and French. And,
I like how French is its own, like.
Oh, they are. They're like.
Are they coming down from Montreal? Or Yeah. Okay.
But it's just like a big French background there too, because of the Acadians and stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Do you ever put your bike on the thing on the bus, the front thingy on the bus?
No, I never ride the bus.
Oh, okay.
Interestingly, yeah, I'll take the train, but I never, because the bus I always think you're just still in traffic. Like most of the time.
Sure.
I just see people going to the Comedy Store a lot, and I pass by them when they're riding the bus there, and I'm like, yeah, it's fucking faster.
I just couldn't imagine trusting that thing. There's no one there to monitor.
Oh, somebody said somebody came up and stole their bike off of it, and the guy wouldn't open the door.
I believe it.
Wouldn't open the door to let him out. He's like, no, I'm not letting you. He could stab you. Just let him take the bike.
The driver's like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not starting this. Like, you're going to run out there, and then he stabs you, and then the bus can't move because we have a crime scene. Your bike's gone.
I do
Sorry.
actually... I'm kind of on the driver's side a little bit. I do... I mean, obviously...
it's worse. I mean, it's like one of those worst-case scenario things where, like, you don't want it to happen, but that is the right move there.
Yeah, liability-wise, I could see that if the driver opens the door, he could lose his job. But if he keeps the door shut, he can't be at fault.
Right.
Yeah. But so wait, on the train, are there special bike cars on the train that...
Yeah, they say they are, but...
You just take it wherever you want.
Take it
Nobody's
wherever you
enforcing
want.
it.
No,
Yeah.
there's no enforcement down there. That
Yeah.
is...
Yeah, that's true. It's like...
There's one guy at the Sunset, Vermont station who was a real piece of shit cop who always used to get at me for, like, skateboarding in the station and
Really?
stuff. It'd be 2 a.m, and I am rolling in an abandoned train station to the next escalator, and this guy pops out of his little cop door and is like, "There's no skateboarding in here." And I'm like, dude. And we got to the point where we would see each other all the time, and I would just fucking do it whenever I could just to piss him off. But that is it. Oh, I want to show you this one clip. Can we pull up that Tanner Hall clip? It really has nothing to do with biking, but it's funny, and I want to get your reaction to this. It's like Tanner Hall breaks ankles. Because it's just one of my favorite clips, and I find it hilarious. Sure. Not necessarily the injury, but everything that happens from the injury.
Right.
We got our wonderful producer Mike here today.
Shout out to Mezzolotti.
This comes from my days back skiing.
Nice. Oh, in Utah. All right.
Yeah, this is in, I think it's like Grizzly Gulch or something like that. And I think if you go forward just a little bit, it'll show, maybe back right about there, right where the,
Oh, my God.
Ow! Woo! Bro, my ankles are broken! My ankles are broke!
His ankles are broken!
Okay.
I got broken ankles!
Shit.
He's coming, Cole!
Yeah, it's a terrible, it blew up both of his ankles. Actually, keep playing it from there, because that might be you see it from the other angle.
Holy shit.
So the thing that went wrong here was he was going, they set up the jump early in the day, and then it got warmer and it slowed down.
I see.
And then he just front sides it so hard.
A really dead silence, and then I hit the wall and heard a really loud explosion, just right in my boots.
But the part that I find funny is, I mean, he doesn't know what to yell, but like, just, my ankles are broken.
Yeah. Honestly, there is a little bit of a cadence of like a child having a temper tantrum.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But the other guy.
My ankles are broken! My ankles are broke!
His ankles are broken!
That guy right there who feels like he's helping by diagnosing it for him.
Everybody heard, dude.
Yeah. And also, we don't know yet if his ankles are broken.
Right.
I mean, sure, I guess they are. But this guy's like, I got you, Tanner. I got you. His ankles are broken.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's a video we show at the end to see people's. I know that it took a year out of his life skiing wise, but he came back. He's still one of the top pros and stuff.
Hell yeah.
But from growing up to just doing that shit, there's some of those videos I just find fucking hilarious, even if they're brutal like that. And it's also knowing that the person is okay later on.
Sure,
afterwards.
of course. That's a big part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. There's only a couple death ones that really I haven't seen it. But yeah, that's our show for today. Alex, thank you so much for coming on.
Man. Yeah.
Are you just Alex Getlin on all your social media?
Alex Gettlin.
Alex Getlin is a funny stand-up. You got your own podcast now, too.
Yeah,
right?
it's called Thin the Herd. If you type in that or my name on Spotify or iTunes, it'll come up.
Cool.
That would be a great Thin the Herd clip. We just focus on like ridiculous stories where people either almost died, did get thinned out of the herd, as we say, all kinds of crazy stuff. I'll have you on soon. I got to find a time and.
Yeah, we can talk about that murder story that I have from Maine.
That'd be perfect, dude. Yeah.
But anyways, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, everybody, and have a good day. This is To Live and Bike in LA.
Yeah, thanks.